Subscribe or you'll be visited by the toll troll. I'm broke and groceries are getting more expensive. Have any unknowns been able to lower grocery bills with a home garden or food forest? I'm thinking of starting one. Unless you have fruit trees, a garden is worthless. Humans can't digest vegetables. You need fruit trees, berries, and most importantly, chickens and other animals. If you can't have a few animals plus fruit and berries, it's over. Veg is indeed worthless. Except for maybe potatoes, which can be useful in times of no meat/fruit as they are easily storable. You can of course grow some herbs and such, but they are to add flavors in good times, they are not nutrition. Economy of scale. It's cheaper to buy potatoes than to grow them. And as a newbie you won't be able to grow anything more difficult. Growing berries and fruit bush and trees is easy. Just plant them and do nothing each year. Vegetables is a pain in the ass, except for potatoes. Also tomatoes are relatively easy to grow. Garden haver. Just don't get potatoes then? Get something that's a bit more rare but higher value, especially if you have a small surface. Like Anan said, berries, but you can also get some spices like coriander, basil and stuff, whatever is local to your area. Almost nothing in that pick would work in the zone that I live in. I'm a full-time wagey and I tried to maintain a garden but, without having the time to dedicate to it, it was extremely difficult. Granted, all the things that grew tasted amazing but I just couldn't keep up with it. Dealing with bad weather. Droughts, rainstorms, cold, pests, fertilizing, etc. There's also the issue of not being able to grow enough of it to survive on. 3 months to grow corn, a few days to eat it all. I'd like to be as self-sufficient as I can, but it's hard doing it as a hobby/part-timer. My family used to do this, and I wanted to start back up again recently, but I've missed the start of the growing season. It lowers your grocery bills, and if you have excess produce you can sell it at the farmer's market. I hunt. You can easily grow enough potatoes on a small space to cover for half a year of eating. Just get chickens and potatoes. Yeah, we've got a big garden in the front and backyard. Never pay for things like green onion, oregano, rosemary, thyme, sage, ginger, tomatoes, peas, dill, cilantro, etc. Considering how much these spices and things are at the grocery store, we've probably saved hundreds in the past year alone. Green onion especially is a heckin' scam. Every night we pick 3 stems from the plants and haven't run out. Even through winter. Never pay for green onions. Since I seem to be the only one on biz who grows things and I'm looking to get a homestead. Here's my experiences. I am getting into lazy farming, that is. I mostly plant things that take no effort. This includes all kind of trees and berry bushes. It's just a plant once and then just a small trim every few years. Very easy. And bigger yields every year, for 50 years. Then I also plant a few things that are yearly things but are so easy and the yield is large. Also, if you leave a few of the fruit rotting on your land somewhere, next year you have new ones. The ones worthwhile: potatoes, pumpkin, zucchini, watermelon, any melons, varietons or pumpkins. I grow some tomatoes too. They are actually also easy but they do require some maintenance. Then I grow herbs, a lot of them like sage, mints, lemon balm. I also grow poppies, kek, and cacti, San Pedro. The main thing though is if you really want to get good food you are going to have to farm some animals. Chickens are extremely easy and provide great protein. Then duck eggs are pretty nice in my opinion, and so is the duck. Also very easy. Rabbits are easy too but not really my thing. I don't have a big enough place right now for anything but chickens. But when I get a better place I will get a few goat and sheep. If you are looking for things that are lazy I recommend rhubarb and asparagus as well. I have 2 patches of both in my backyard that have been there for decades with no maintenance. You can also hit up a food pantry, Anan. They're free and they don't means test. I'm thinking of starting one. I started one with my Venu when I needed to save some money. Snails and worms are the worst garbage you can find in the garden. They eat most things. Buy repellent for those little craps. Snails and worms, just let the ducks, chickens in the garden for a bit every week and you have no snails. Also worms are good you regard. They don't eat live plants, they eat dead rotting things, like leaves. This past winter I started growing basic plants in my student kitchen. It turns on by itself during the day. It will probably never turn profit though. It makes me feel slightly regarded but at least it was enjoyable, and it enhances my breakfasts. Basil, oregano, thyme, salads and parsley. Not really. Although I will say the one plant I noticed in my garden that required the most minimal care with the most amount of actual food was kale. Planted about 5 plants in a small 10 by 10 garden. Paid about $17 for the plants, $5 for a cover so animals don't kill when they are starting. About $40 worth of soil that has lasted me for 3 summers, about $10 each summer to refresh the soil, $15 for liquid nutrient that have lasted me for a decade, $5 on Dollarama hand shovel, gloves, and tomato holders so they don't flop onto the soil. Have a good amount of decently healthy greens each day. I usually just make homemade Caesar dressing with some chicken. About $20 weekly for chicken, $15 for a month worth of ingredients to make Caesar dressing. Grows early in the season and produces into fall. I water them maybe twice a week or if I notice they look parched. Most of the time they are hardy buggers who don't care after the first month. If you provide cover for them in the winter, they have a better chance of surviving for the following year. I've also found potatoes to be good. But it can take a little practice to avoid rot and get any actual yields. Raspberries are also a good option as they produce all summer and require minimum care once they are. Plant them anywhere in your garden. Take care of them for the first month and they take care of themselves after that. They spread like a mother hecker though, so make sure you pick them often or you will deal with wasps and ants. Herbs are easy as heck if you have a windowsill for them to sit on. If you have the land and you're allowed and you're willing to do 1 hour of work every day, you can also get chickens and feed them your organic trash. Just a couple should be enough for maybe half a dozen eggs a week. Growing stuff is only worth it depending on how much time and effort you put in.